Hi, Dr. Connie here. So, did you know that there are 5 places in the world where the odds of living to 100 years old are the highest? These regions are called the Blue Zone, and they include Sardinia in Italy, Okinawa in Japan, Loma Linda, California, which is the Seventh-day Adventists, that's where I'm from, and Nicoya, Costa Rica, and Icaria in Greece. People in such regions have tapped into the secrets of health that keep them thriving. So what do these Blue Zone communities have in common? Number 1, they have a strong family value. Number 2, they eat whole foods that are nutrient dense like vegetables, beans, and fish. Number 3, they don't overeat or overindulge. And number 4, they don't eat processed foods. And number 5, they move every day as part of their life, like biking or walking to work. And number 6, they have a moderate amount of wine per day with friends and family, which I love. And 7, they have a strong social life. And 8, they have minimal stress, sleep well, and take naps regularly. And 9, they have a strong sense of purpose in their lives. And 10, they share a strong faith. And 11, and finally, they're just happy. Seems so simple, doesn't it? So how do we incorporate some of their secrets into our lives? Number 1 is social and family support. Cultivating a strong social life or family is key. In our busy lives, we often don't spend enough time paying attention to those that we care about. And when we isolate ourselves, studies show that it can increase our mortality. So begin to create social networks of family or family networks that support each other by being the friend or a family member that you'd want to be around and support. Studies prove that we tend to be the average of 5 people that we're around the most often. So be a role model so that you can attract like-minded friends into your circle. Dietary factors. The Blue Zone communities tended to eat a lot of lower caloric foods that are high in antioxidants. While they all had different diets, overall, the diet was nutrient dense and calorically low. The biggest denominators are that they ate a lot of veggies, fiber-rich foods, and phytonutrients, and antioxidants. Their antioxidants come from a variety of foods like teas, wine, and fruits and veggies. Most importantly, they are joyful when they eat with family and friends multiple times a day. Exercise. So by default, exercise is very much a part of their daily life. They walk, bike, or hike everywhere rather than relying on their cars. I remember when I was a teenager, I used to walk to school or friends' houses. Progressively, due to the rising concern for safety in the United States, we've seen a steady decline of kids walking. According to one study, in 1969, the National Center for Safe Routes to School found that 48% of children aged 5 to 14 walked or biked to school. Then in 2009, this was reduced to 13%. Although the numbers of children living within a mile of school was reduced by only 10%. So this lack of walking to school and playing on the streets is perhaps both a consequence and a cause of the change in perception of safety in our community. This invariably affects kids as well as us adults. Thus, adults as well as elderly people are not out in their communities watching the children, which also reduce their opportunities to socialize with each other. So 7 ways to find your fountain of youth. Number 1 is to get in the habit of walking your children to school, maybe 1 day a week or more. And if you have a pet, it's easier. You walk them every day. Suggest taking turns with the other parents as well so that it's more feasible with busy work schedules. Number 2 is allow your children to play outside on the streets and you play with them. Not only will your children enjoy it, it'll also promote community and camaraderie in the neighborhoods. Number 3 is to create a community. It can involve a religious group, volunteer position, your neighborhood, a hobby, or your children's school. Number 4 is to eat more vegetables. Incorporate at least one vegetable every meal throughout the day, with a goal of at least 5 servings per day. Number 5 is eat with friends at work instead of at your desk. Perhaps go for a walk together every day. You'll keep yourselves accountable and lower your stress burden. Number 6 is deliberately spend more time as a family. Playing board games or conversing at dinner time rather than resorting to our smart devices is a good option. This will also allow your kids to open up more and encourage unity and support within the family. Number 7 is just smile. Life is so much more than work or stress. We live in the most abundant time in history. Take a breath and choose to be happy. Smiling will shift your mood immediately. So with that, I encourage you to like or comment to this blog, subscribe to our YouTube channel and podcast, like our Facebook page, and as always, leave us comments. We love to hear from you. See you next week.